Tamara. Aren't we just fortunate to be able to be out here and enjoy this wonderful scenery? This beautiful day. Can't beat it. Blue sky everywhere, sunshine, about 70 degrees. You know, you wouldn't believe it's wintertime.
Life is good. Yes, it is.
Yeah, remember that coyote came in last night?
He was pretty skinny and scruffy, wasn't he?
Yep, kind of looking for a handout. I guess maybe tonight we'll have to feed him a little scrap or two to try and fatten him up a touch, just like she does me. Speaking of that, what do you got going now?
Well, you know something? Seems how you like to be fattened up. We're going to do a wonderful fun dessert today, and of course we're out here on the desert camping, so we're going to make it simple. And it's really great because it is made with a classic pizza crust that we found down here in one of our local grocery stores that we just love. It's called Walnuts, European bakery style dough, and it, believe it or not, it is from Austria. Can you believe that? But anyway, we're going to try that today, and what I'm calling is an apple pizza roll-up. Does that sound great?
Oh man, I'm beginning to get hungry already.
So I guess I better get with it.
I'll let you get with it.
What is neat about this pizza dough is, you know, all you need to do is just roll it out because it's already on, comes with parchment paper. But I have parchment paper sitting out here also. You know, when I'm up home in Wyoming, we're up home in Wyoming, I always make my own, which pizza dough is very, very, very easy to make. But you know, when you're camping out here on the desert and you're trying to have fun, you try to make things even more simple. I have about 3 tablespoons of softened butter that I'm going to just kind of put a little bit on this and rub it around. Of course, we have a little breeze going on here. And if you watch any of our videos, we always have a breeze. Sometimes we can say it's more than a breeze. But you know, we just deal with it. And I've gone ahead and prepared some of my apples, but I have 2 apples that we're going to coarsely chop.
What kind of apples are you got?
The apples I'm using today are my favorite that I love for eating or cooking, and they are a Honey Crisp. There we go. That's probably enough butter here. Well, maybe I better add a little more. Like Emerald Lagasse always said, you never use too much butter, right, dear?
Yeah, or pork fat.
Or pork fat. Well, we don't use pork fat. We got to watch our figures. The older we get, the more we have to watch them, right?
Yeah, I watch them just get a little bigger every day.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm his wife, so I guess I better be nice. Okay, what I've done here is, I'll show you. You don't have to chop these very fine. And you know, I put about a couple tablespoons of lemon juice to keep them so they don't turn brown. What you do is you just chop them about like that. Then I put them in my bowl here. Boy, is this going to be good. Of course, I love any dessert made with apples.
I love any dessert.
Yes, he does, you know. I have a wonderful husband, the cameraman, that does not complain about anything.
Now, in my life, there's only 2 kinds of desserts, hot or cold.
Yes. You know, and we like to serve this with ice cream, but you know, when you're camping out here on the desert, we don't have a store very close by, so guess what? We're not going to have ice cream. Okay, so that's probably enough apples because I've already got some prepared. Now what I'm going to do is put my apples on here, and you can use the same spoon that I used for the butter. And what what you need to do is leave about a half an inch to an inch around the edge here, because I'm going to roll this up like you would like for cinnamon rolls. And the juice already is coming out of the apples, which you try not to get too much of that juice. These were really juicy Honeycrisp apples. That's why I just really prefer them instead of other type of apples. You know, we hope you subscribe, hit that like button, and leave a comment and share it with your family and friends. We would love it if you shared our channel with your family and friends.
Heck, we wouldn't be at all opposed if you shared it with your enemies.
Oh, but most of us don't have enemies right here.
That's right, especially when you cook like this.
That's right. We have more friends than we thought we had. They kind of watch us to see what we're doing, and then they come over, which is fine, because we always have lots to share. As you can see, I'm not going to put that juice on there because it'll make it too juicy, and then it'll be oozing out. And what we're going to be doing today is we are going to be baking this in a 12-inch Dutch oven over briquettes. Up home, we use a lot with our over an open fire and use wood, but you know, when we're out here camping, this is just so much easier to cook it this way. Now what I'm going to do is, I have about a half of a cup of brown sugar that I'm going to just kind of sprinkle over this. You know, of course, we do probably 90% of our cooking, whether it's with Dutch ovens or what it is, with cast iron outside. But this is a very simple dessert that you could bake in your home if you do not want to do it outside over a campfire. You can do it in the comforts of your home in an oven. And what we're going to do today is we're going to get our temperature to 350, and we'll keep adding briquettes as needed and probably bake this for about an hour. Okay, now I'm going to put raisins on here. You know, my grandkids don't like raisins. A lot of people don't like raisins, so this is kind of optional. If you don't want to put raisins on here, that's totally fine. It's whatever your preference is. Now we've gone ahead and chopped some finely chopped walnuts we're going to put on here. And this is about a half of a cup, maybe a little bit more. My husband, the cameraman, chopped them for me. You know, we're quite the team, most of the time. I think he's going to tell me I put too much on here. He's probably right. But I'll get it rolled up. It'll work out just great. Because we're going to roll this up like you would roll up for cinnamon rolls. And you want to make sure that the seam is on the bottom and tuck those ends in so you don't lose any of your apple mixture there. And now I'm going to just sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon on top. Hopefully the wind doesn't blow it away. That's probably, if you're going to measure it, it's probably about a teaspoon. I'm going to take my spoon and just kind of work that in a bit. See how easy this is? We believe in easy and simple, believe me. Okay, now I'm going to roll this up.
Yeah, this is the fun part. Trying to watch her get all that stuff in there as she rolls it up.
I know, he's amazed. But you know, I've been cooking, I feel like my whole entire life. I've watched my mother cook for years. And of course my mom, I grew up on a ranch up in Montana, a dude ranch. So I used to watch my mother do a lot of cooking, and of course it was over a wood cook stove. I'm dating myself now here. But anyway, she used to do that, and oh my goodness, the homemade breads and the wonderful things that she made in cast iron over a wood cook stove was just amazing. My mom made the best breads in the world. I mean to tell you. She's up there in heaven smiling down at me and saying, yes, I did. All right, look at that. I made it happen.
Yeah, it looks like it's about as well stuffed as I am.
Well, we're not going to go there. Now, the trick might be to get this in our Dutch oven. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put this in our Dutch oven, and then I'm going to brush the top of it with butter and a little bit of cinnamon and sugar. And then we're going to put the lid on it and put coals on the top and on the bottom. And we're going to get this baking. Doesn't this look absolutely great? Oh my goodness. And it took about 45 minutes, but you just have to keep an eye on it and keep adding briquettes. Towards the end, we put more on top so it browned it really nicely. Now I'm going to show you what's really slick about this parchment paper. As you can see, the juices kind of oozed out from the apples, but look at this. Wow. Are we going to enjoy this? And I'm going to let this cool for a little bit, and then I'm going to slide it onto my plate here. We sure hope you enjoyed this with us today. Of course, you know what our motto is. Great food shared with family and friends equals great times. And if I have missed anything, you can go down to the description below and you can get the full recipe with all the measurements and ingredients and everything. Thank you for joining us today until we meet again.